trainer with a background in PR and communications. She has more than 1,000 hours of coaching under her belt and offers tailor-made trainings in communication, public speaking, career and personal development. Irina is also Mama Fusion, as she is called in our club. We can always depend on her for her sharp insight, for becoming aware of our own limiting beliefs and to connect with our true values. Ladies and gentlemen, Irina Mushuk, leading with heart. Leading with heart, Irina Mushuk.
Fellow Toastmasters, dear guests, how many of you have had full access to education and freedom to choose your profession? With a show of hands. Many. We are so lucky. We can choose the direction of our professional development. Career choices of our mothers and grandmothers were limited. My grandmother was born in 1920s. She was a joyful, creative, curious child. But she could study only 4 classes at school. At the age of 10, her both parents died. She lived in an orphanage, taking care of her little brothers and sisters. She worked hard all her life in the hospital. But in her spare time, she would study fashion magazines. Her mother taught her at early age how to sew, and it was her dream to become a fashion designer. And only when my grandfather has gifted her an electric sewing machine, she became the most sought-after tailor in her village and the most famous fashionista. My mother had to face severe oppression from her father when it came to her education. He would not let her study, as she was supposed to wake up at dawn, work on the land. In his world, her destiny was to be a milkmaid. So there was no point in education. But my mother dreamt of helping people and becoming a doctor. At the age of 16, she decided to follow her heart. She ran away from home to a nearby town to be accepted to a medical college and become a nurse. The world we see today has changed. Women, most of the women in the world have access to education. Did you know that women constitute 55% of higher education enrollment? Women can pursue professions which were traditionally considered male. Astronaut, police officer, firefighter, scientist, chef, researcher, you name it. But modern women face different challenges and different struggles. As a career coach, I work with wonderful, talented, brilliant women who struggle with how the world perceives them and how they perceive themselves in the world. I have identified 3 main struggles I'm going to share with you today. Struggle number 1. Women systematically underestimate their abilities. With a show of hands, how many of you apply for a position only when you feel you are 90 or 100% match? Higher? Okay, most of the women do that, while men are happy with 50%. Women more often suffer from self-limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I don't fit in. Most of them were raised in an authoritative environment where their needs were neglected and their emotions suppressed, so their coping mechanism is people-pleasing and mimicry. Does it sound familiar? My client Emily silently suffered for many years while working as a product owner in IT sector because of her desire to fit in. But all her life, her passion was sport, but it was never taken seriously and labeled as unprestigious. But once she stepped into her strength and had the courage to follow her heart, she was unstoppable. She has entirely changed her career, and now she works as a fitness trainer and a sport model. Struggle number 2. Women still face gender discrimination and stereotyping. For example, women in leadership roles are perceived as less feminine, too aggressive, or too pushy. My other client, Natalie, recently took a new job as a senior legal counsel in a predominantly male culture. She's often told that she's too bold, too present, has too many ideas, while her boss expected her to be more compliant and to do what she was told. Needless to say, she's leaving the company. You see, in modern society, success and likability are positively correlated for men and negatively correlated for women. Women are still expected to prioritize family over professional fulfillment. Struggle number 3. Women have to make harder choices between their professional success and personal fulfillment. How many of you heard the name of Jacinta Ardern? The world has known her as Prime Minister of New Zealand, who was breastfeeding her daughter right in the parliament. Yes, now you got it. But I have heard of her when I heard her resignation speech, which was so powerful and so emotional. She openly shared her struggle being in highly demanding leadership role and also being a new mom. She spoke from her heart, and she told about her worries, her levels of anxiety, leaving her in cold sweat, unable to eat. She demonstrated that burnout for working women is real, and there is nothing to be ashamed of, even if you are Prime Minister. Her words deeply echoed in my heart, and I want to share them with you today. You can be anxious, sensitive, kind, and wear your heart on your sleeve. You can be a mother, a nerd, a crier, a hugger. You can be all of these things. And not only can you be here, you can lead. What if we were not afraid to lead with our heart? What if we could redefine stereotypes and let our feminine superpowers shine? Our intuition, our emotional intelligence, our nurturing nature, our spirit of service. We are creators and life givers. That's why we don't easily take decisions that destroy lives. We have compassion and desire to help others. Do you know which are the 3 top leadership skills LinkedIn has identified for 2024? They call them the 3 C's. Cooperation, creativity, compassion. And these are not just feminine qualities. These are the qualities that humanity needs today. I look at my daughters, who are 3 and 6 years old, and I know they will inherit a world full of injustice and inequality. And all I ask is to have enough love for them, to let them lead with their heart, embracing their noble nature, and enough wisdom to never fail to see it in them.